Have you ever scrolled through your feed and realized there's that one person who's completely absent? No vacation photos, no mirror selfies, no living my best life updates. In a world where everyone's fighting for attention, these people almost seem like ghosts. But here's what most people don't realize. Their silence isn't weakness. It's actually one of the strongest psychological signals you can send. Today, we're diving deep into the minds of people who refuse to post their pictures online and what psychology reveals about their true character. Let's start with something called privacy orientation, a psychological trait that determines how much of yourself you're willing to share with the world. People who rarely post pictures score high on this trait. They're not hiding, they're protecting. They understand that once something goes online, they lose control over how it's perceived, shared, or judged. While most people seek external validation through likes and comments, these individuals rely on self-validation. Their self-worth doesn't fluctuate based on engagement metrics. They don't need an audience to confirm their happiness. They already know it exists. And here's the key: this isn't insecurity. It's the opposite. It's a subtle but powerful form of inner security. They're comfortable enough with themselves that they don't need the world watching. Psychology research on self-concept clarity reveals something fascinating. People who share less online often have a clearer sense of who they are. They know their values, they know their boundaries, they know what truly matters to them, and posting pictures for strangers doesn't make the list. This gives them a huge advantage. They're less likely to fall into comparison traps or chase fleeting trends. Their identity isn't shaped by algorithms or influencers. It's built on real experiences and genuine self-reflection. Their confidence doesn't come from how others see them. It comes from how well they know themselves. And that kind of clarity is rare in today's world. Now let's talk about secure self-esteem, a type of confidence that doesn't need constant reinforcement to survive. People with secure self-esteem don't post selfies to prove their worth. They don't need to broadcast their achievements to feel accomplished. They already feel complete. Psychologists say this type of emotional balance leads to lower anxiety, less approval-seeking behavior, and a stronger focus on real-world goals instead of online validation. Think about it: when you're not worried about what others think, you free up an enormous amount of mental energy. You can focus on building actual relationships, pursuing meaningful work, and living authentically, not performing for an audience. They're not afraid of being forgotten online because they're too busy being remembered in real life. Here's another pattern. People who stay quiet online tend to be more introspective. They think before they speak, they observe before they react, and when they do share something, it's intentional, not impulsive. This comes from a cognitive trait called internal locus of evaluation. That means they judge themselves by their own standards, not by external metrics like followers, likes, or comments. They prefer depth over breadth. One meaningful conversation with a close friend matters more to them than 100 shallow interactions with strangers online. While everyone else is performing, they're processing. While others are broadcasting, they're building real connections. And that makes them incredibly grounded people. People who avoid posting pictures often have a deep understanding of something psychologists call social comparison theory, the idea that we constantly measure our worth against others. And social media is the ultimate comparison machine. Everyone's sharing their highlight reels, the perfect angles, the filtered faces, the carefully curated moments. But behind every post is someone editing, retaking, and trying to look better than they feel. People who stay offline recognize this illusion. They know that participating in that game means constantly comparing themselves to unrealistic standards, and that cycle destroys mental health. By staying low-key, they protect their peace. They choose authenticity over performance, reality over illusion, and in doing so, they preserve something most people have lost: a genuine relationship with themselves. Here's something most people miss: The people who don't post online are often the most present in real life. They're not watching the concert through a screen, they're experiencing it. They're not posing for the perfect dinner photo, they're actually talking to the person across from them. Psychology calls this mindful presence, and it's becoming increasingly rare. When you're not distracted by documenting every moment, you can actually live it. These people invest their energy into real relationships, not digital impressions. Their friendships are built on trust and conversation, not comments and tags. And that creates a depth that surface-level online connections can never match. So the next time you notice someone who never posts their pictures, don't mistake their silence for shyness or insecurity. They might just be more grounded, more self-aware, and more emotionally intelligent than most people scrolling right now. They don't need to be seen to feel seen, they don't need validation to feel valuable, and they don't need an audience to feel alive. That's not invisibility, that's freedom. That's not silence, that's strength. And honestly, in a world addicted to attention, choosing to step back might be the boldest move you can make. If you're fascinated by the psychology behind everyday behaviors, why people think, act, and choose the way they do, then hit that subscribe button right now. Because on this channel, we don't just watch people, we decode them. See you in the next one.